And we all know that riding dirt bikes is a total blast, and we love to get on them as much as we can. But when we can't, Konami's got a solution for us. It's called Motocross Maniacs Advance for the Game Boy Advance. And you may be familiar with that title because Konami actually made a Motocross Maniacs game for the original Game Boy, and now they've updated it for the 32-bit portable. Now the story is actually a little bit weird. It's about a robot who works for the food industry who throws a tournament, and the winners of this tournament can win cheeseburgers and cakes. I'm not kidding. But it doesn't really matter why people are racing. You're just racing because it's fun. And the levels in Motocross Maniacs Advance are really fun. They've done all kinds of great things. You're riding through ice caves, you're riding underwater, you're riding in jungle, you're riding as little miniature toys through a giant child's playroom. Really fun stuff like that. The gameplay is actually a throwback to the old days. It's all side-scrolling. You've got your little motorcycle and it races along side to side, but there's also lots of aerial stuff, so you'll leap up into the air, you'll catch a loop-de-loop, and then flip and fly, and then you can fall. There's lots of height, lots of variety. The secret to winning the game, though, of course, is to stay gassed up. You have to catch those gas cans, and Konami's placed them in all of the tough places, so you have to find the right route to win. And if you do win, you get all kinds of cool unlockables, like characters. There's a bull that you can actually earn in this game, and it's pretty cool to see this giant hulking bull next to all these little mini riders. You know, the game wouldn't win any awards for technical achievement. It's really just a throwback, and it's really recapturing the magic of the old Motocross Maniacs, but that's okay. Honestly, I'd rather be riding around on a real-life dirt bike, but I gotta say that Motocross Maniacs Advance is a nice alternative. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10, and I'm gonna recommend you check it out.
Next game we're going to talk about is Maximo for the PlayStation 2.
Awesome game.
Now this game was done by Capcom Digital Studios, which is the U.S. office of Capcom. Capcom does most of the games out of Japan, and this was really this team's very first attempt at a game, and let me tell you, they hit it right on the head.
Basically what you're doing in this game, it's a 3D update to Ghosts and Goblins, or Ghouls and Ghosts, a couple of Capcom classics from the arcades in the 80s. You play Maximo, who's a fearless knight who's gone off to war. He comes back to his village, and he finds that the 4 good sorceresses have been kidnapped and taken away, and the king has gone evil.
Sophia! Maximo! Achille, you told me Maximo...
Silence! That's enough!
Steals your girlfriend.
Steals your girlfriend, marries your girlfriend.
I hate when that happens.
And then he brings up all the undead creatures to sort of help him rule the world.
And here you go. You got the whole old-style gameplay, but well done in a 3D world. It's that whole, like, Crash Bandicoot type vibe where it goes back to simple gameplay, and it's fun to play.
But it's much more than Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, of course.
I mean, this is... Honestly, this is one of the best-looking PlayStation 2 games I've seen. One of the best-looking video games, period, I've ever seen. All the characters look like little action figures, and they're running through. I mean, they look like such 3D objects that you could reach into the screen and grab them. It's really amazing.
The characters were designed by a famous Japanese artist, Susumu Masushita.
Yeah, and so they went to a professional artist and designer to create the characters, and it shows.
So you get the presentation, and in addition to the great character models, you also get fantastic world environments.
You have 5 main worlds, basically. There's you start out with your graveyard world, then you go to the swamp world.
Right.
Yeah, there's a castle level. And one of my favorites is the ice pirate level. Snowflakes are falling and the music's really cool.
Boy.
And then there's underworlds, kind of the hell level.
It is the complete package, but if we want to talk just graphics for a second, all the sort of ambient special effects that are in there, right. Incredible. Like the little wisps of fire that are coming off. The skeletons popping out of their coffins, out of the ground. I love the little arms, the little skeleton arms that come out of the dirt as you go off the path. The trees in the first world, you actually have like a fully developed 3-dimensional tree with each individual leaf as a polygon. The game is phenomenal. I love this game.
Well, the thing is, too, there's a lot of secret bits and a lot of power-ups. I mean, there's over 40 different unique moves that Maximo can learn.
You can do these amazing animations, like these amazing sword swipes. So what about of things that you were disappointed with. Was there anything about Maximo you didn't like?
Well, one of the only things I didn't like about it was that it got to be a little too tedious and hard in the later levels.
Right. This is a game for people that have played lots and lots of video games. They remember going to the arcades. They remember how hard those old 80s arcade games were and how many quarters they ripped off from you. And this is that same kind of thing. You have to be good to survive in this game. I think that people may have a couple of problems with the camera angles in Maximo. There's lots of jumping. There's lots of places where you have to leap to the next ledge. And sometimes the cameras just get stuck and they don't move fast enough and you don't know where you're supposed to jump. And that adds to an already very difficult game. But you know what? I love everything about this game. I think this is a classic. I think it's one of the best PlayStation 2 games that's out on the market, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. I love Maximo. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10.
And I give it a 9. On the positive side, the graphics are absolutely stunning, the character development is excellent, and the basic controls are very easy and intuitive to get into.
On the minus side, we did think that it was a little bit too difficult. There aren't enough save points in the game, so that adds to the difficulty. And sometimes the camera angle is a little bit sketchy, and then you do have a sense of not knowing exactly where to jump. So it's not all about the game. Sometimes you actually need some hardware to help you enjoy the experience of playing video games, and that's what this is all about. We're going to talk about the Nuwave video game enhancer. Now, what this thing is supposed to do is help make your games look brighter and crisper on your TV screen.
Well, it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Basically, you have a little hardware unit about this big,
right,
and there's 2 buttons on the front, and you push them in, and it brightens the picture and sharpens the picture. Now, I have a sharpness switch and a brightness switch on my television, so why you would want to pay extra money for a peripheral to do that, I'm not quite sure.
Well, the idea is it's going to be one button presses, and all of a sudden your picture is going to look better. But, now here's the big thing, it only accepts RCA input.
Well, there's basically 3 ways to get output from video games. There's your basic RCA, and then the step up from that is the S-video. And then from there you have component video. Now that is, if you have a component television, well then you can get the highest quality.
And the other big thing that I thought would have helped to make this thing saleable to game players out there, there were 8 different video game systems on sale in 2001 alone.
Right.
I would think that a little video game enhancer with ports for at least 3 inputs would be very cool, because then you'd have a selector as well as a video game enhancer, and that would be very nice. I really wouldn't recommend it.
I would say that I couldn't recommend this as a peripheral because it's a lot of money and it only deals with the very low end.
On the plus side, the video game enhancer actually does what it says it's going to do.
But on the downside, we wish it had more inputs for more video game system, and we wish the inputs themselves had higher quality, like S-video or component video. And finally, the $40 is a little bit too high for something that is just sharpness and brightness. Make sure you come right back, because Vic and I are going to review Mall Tycoon.